Morning, Bob. I see you replied to my video quite quickly. Let's talk a little bit about a few things. Bob. Don't talk to me with condescension, you greasy, flaky, fat, miserable fuck. Let's go over some English first, Bob. The word is especially, not especially. So the proper English is especially, not especially. That's number one. And these papers are the gospel according to Karl. Second word that you can't even read out of your Bible, Bob. The word is gnashes. Gnashing of teeth. Gnashing. Not gashes. Gashes of teeth. How do you expect to be taken seriously, Bob, when you can't even read words out of your precious Bible? You tried to teach me a little bit about the meaning of the word retard. For one, I don't need to know that, Bob, because I took quite a lot of that in my nursing classes. I am a registered nurse. Done it for over 30 years now, so I've seen my amount of retarded people. If it bothers you, Bob, I can go to developmentally challenged. That's fine. But you're correct. The term retard does mean to be held back. Let me ask you this, Bob. How many times have you been held back in school? How many times have you been put in special ed classes because you were so slow? So I'm not using the term retard, in a negative way. I'm just pointing out that you are mildly mentally retarded. Like, you can tie your own shoes, and you can walk unaided most times, and you can drive. So, you can do the day-to-day activities. So you're mildly mentally retarded. Or if you like it better, you're highly functioning, Bob. So I do know what the term means, and now so do you. And if you really want to know what the word means, just look in the mirror in the morning, Bob. You say you put Selsun Blue on your face. You need another shampoo or something, Bob, because your face is like falling apart. And maybe use that Selsun on your hair, because that greasy mop is almost as bad as your grandson, Bobbert's. So do something about that, Bob. It's funny how you complain when your videos are chopped up. But when you played my video and I said that I'm out to get you, you suddenly stopped the video there because you want people to think that I'm physically harming you. Bob, I would never physically harm you. Although I am not a Christian and I'm not a religious man, I do have morals and I do have beliefs, and I would never purposely cause physical harm to anybody. So if you're trying to put it out there that I would drive all the way down to your little shithole and physically harm you, I've got better things to do, Bob. Like this afternoon, I'm going to rearrange my sock drawer, and after my bath tonight, I'm going to clip my toenails. So there's more important things in my life, Bob, than to come down and do any harm to you. But that doesn't mean, if you let the video play, that I'm not going to be all over you like a pit bull on a chihuahua about your videos. You think that you have the right to free speech and you could spew whatever hateful doctrine you want to on the internet. I have that same right, Bob. If you want to be anti-LGBTQ or anti-this or anti-that, I am allowed to be anti-Bob McKim. And so that's why, if you let that video play, I told you that I am going to refute every point you make in your videos. I'm going to be on you, and I'm going to let people know the truth. But all the people that watch you know the truth anyways, Bob. You're a sad, pathetic, lonely, miserable little man. Everybody knows that. They don't need me to point that out to you, Bob. And I think somewhere deep inside, you know that too. Because you're always saying God is your protector. Look at you, Bob. You're fat. Your face is falling apart. Your hair is greasy. You have no teeth. You have constant sores in your mouth and in your throat and in your belly, and flaming hemorrhoids and You live in a little shithole where the ceiling, what's up with the ceiling, Bob, above you? It used to be like 4 feet square. Now it's like 10 feet. It covers both you and Renee. You know, now if you just widen it by about 8 feet, you'll be able to float up when the rapture comes. But that's a little shithole, Bob. It has exposed wiring in the kitchen, exposed insulation above you. That can't be healthy to breathe. Maybe check into that, Bob, that you're breathing in exposed insulation. Maybe that's why you have a little tickle on the back of your throat. Still talking about God, your protector. You know, you have a broken mind, a broken body, a broken trailer. You have to beg for food. You go into food pantries where people who are really down on their luck, who really have real physical issues, need to eat. And you go in there and you try to fill your basket as fast as you can. It's sad, Bob. A real Christian wouldn't do that. When God, you know, turned the loaves and fishes into a mount for a great crowd to eat, he didn't take them all and run away and say, this is for me, I got to get my share. He was the last one to eat, if any. He gave the people his food. I'd like to see you do that, Bob. That's another way you're like a pit bull. You try to, if anybody tries to grab your food, you'd be all over that hand. You know, screech and give it to me back. Give it back to me. I want it. I want it. You're a disgusting human being, Bob. You are not a prophet, Bob. Just because you say so in your mind doesn't mean you are a prophet. The same way that when I said I was your brother, it didn't mean I was your brother, Bob. I was just playing a little game. And it's the same thing you're doing. You're playing a little game. You are not a prophet. The only thing, I don't even think that. I don't think you could, you know, make a prophecy about the next time you're going to take a shit. You are not a prophet. Get that through your developmentally challenged mind. Just because you say it doesn't mean it's true. So just so we clear things up here, Bob, I'm not out to physically harm you. I'm not out to bully you. I am just going to be behind you every step of the way, refuting all of the things you say. All of the bullshit that you spread, I'm going to be there with a hose, watering it all down so it disappears where it belongs. And if you don't like that, that's too bad. I have freedom of speech, just like you do, Bob. You have freedom of speech. And let's see, you addressed a lot of the things that I did in my video, a lot of the things I said about you, but it's funny that you didn't bring up any of the sexual statements that I made, Bob, about you sucking dicks during your threesome, or handling dicks, or whatever you did with the dick, Bob. Is that a Christian? Does a Christian do that? Have crazy threesomes with 2 other fat people? Man, you're lucky like Purdue wasn't around when you were having that honking threesome, because, you know, you would have been hauled in the back of a truck and turned into sausage, Bob. I don't even want to imagine what that looked like. 3 people who are 200 pounds overweight, rolling around on a bed, honking and horting and snorting and sucking. Jesus Christ, Bob. And for my wife, she's a lovely woman. She's got a heart of gold. She is repulsed by you, Bob. She loves everybody. She goes out of her way to help everybody. And she is repulsed by you. In our many years together, even the worst person on YouTube or on the street, she always has something good to say about them. And she wanted me to give you a message, Bob, of what she thinks about you. So, Bob, make another video. I'll be right there behind you, Bob, following behind you, clearing up the bullshit that you're spreading. Okay? Until next time, brother.